G'day, welcome back to the channel. My name's Brett. This video is just my take on driving in Thailand, and I'd just like to apologise up front about the quality of some of the video. Some of it was taken from a dash cam in my car, so the quality is not that great, and some of the video is taken from a motorbike, and it's probably not the best, but hopefully it'll be enough that you get an idea of my experiences so far in Thailand, and yeah, hope you enjoy it. A lot of people say you shouldn't drive a car or ride a motorbike in Thailand because of the road toll, but even though I think Thailand is number 2 in the world for road fatalities, it's really up to you to be cautious. The roads are of pretty good condition over here, and it's just a matter of being aware of what the other drivers are doing, taking precautions, and it's not that bad. I've been driving here for over 2 years in a car and on a motorbike, and if you just be careful, if you're on a motorbike, wear a helmet and the appropriate clothing, shoes, etc. And if you're in a car, just pay attention. And another favourite of mine is being able to turn left on a red light if it's safe to do so. We can't do that in Western Australia, and I find that very, very convenient. One of the things I'm not really used to when I'm driving is checkpoints. In Australia we have, or in Perth, in WA, we have booze buses that check for whether you're over the alcohol limit, but we don't have any checkpoints like this. Pretty sure they are checking different types each time, maybe sometimes driving licenses, maybe sometimes they're checking trucks, etc. for drugs. But yeah, it's not a common thing for me. Throughout Thailand you'll find fixed speed cameras on the side of the road. You'll also find red light cameras, usually at intersections and red light or traffic lights. But you'll also find the local police in certain areas hiding behind a pole or a bush, and usually after the police and at the side of the road there'll be a checkpoint further up the road, and if you've been speeding or doing something wrong, expect to be pulled over. One of the times when you have to be really careful is during the wet season. You can get some fairly decent storms, hail, etc. This is a bit of a video of me coming through a storm on my way back from Chiang Mai to the village. Unfortunately, people don't pay much attention to the markings on the road, whether it be out on the normal roads or in car parks. I don't know whether they just don't see them or they ignore them, but here's some examples. The main thing you have to watch out for when you're driving in Thailand are the trucks. I think it's one of those things here where the bigger vehicle has the right of way, so it goes from trucks down to utes, down to cars, and then motorbikes. Push bikes and pedestrians come last. It's quite common to see the aftermath of accidents while you're out travelling around Thailand. I haven't actually witnessed an accident yet, thank Christ, but yeah, quite often you'll see the remnants of an accident. They go too fast, they must have rolled over.
I think they come from that lane.
I've seen a lot of the delivery vans or utes with a canopy on the back. They seem to be a little bit top heavy to me. The centre of gravity doesn't seem right, and I see them tipped over on the side of the road quite often. One of the things I like about the Thai road system are the U-turns. I find them very good. There's a couple of different types. One type is when you do your U-turn, you actually have a far lane to turn into. So if you do have traffic coming towards you, you can just merge in with them at your convenience. Another type of U-turn is the one under a bridge. I find that one very convenient also. This U-turn is slightly different to the previous one, where you don't have that extra lane to turn into, so you just do your U-turn normally and just pick a lane. Truck is passing with one of the road victims on the tray on the back, so common sight here in Thailand. Keep your eye out for this white ute for a little bit later on. He's driving down the right side of the road at the moment. People tend to pull out in front of you. They don't look either from the left or the right. I have noticed that a lot of drivers ignore red lights, stop signs, etc. So you really have to be careful with that one and be well aware of what's happening around you.
Fucking hell, mate.
Doing about 100 kilometers an hour and then someone comes in the opposite direction. Around harvest time, the farmers look for any bit of flat ground they can find to dry their crops. You can come around a bend on the road and come across something like this. It's not uncommon in the rural areas. One thing you have to watch out for is dogs sleeping on the road. This lot are okay, but the ones that are the most dangerous are the ones that sleep in the shade of trees. They're very hard to see and yeah, can cause a bit of a problem if you swerve to miss the dog. A bit unusual, driving through town and a bit of a dog fight going on in the middle of the street.
Don't hit him. Oh.
Parking is also interesting in Thailand. Here's an example. There is a thing here where you can leave your car parked behind other cars and you leave it in neutral, especially in car parks, and they just push the car out of the way when the other person needs to leave. So a bit of a common practice here in Thailand. This is a child seat on a motorbike. It's not uncommon to see more than one or two people on a motorbike. Sometimes you'll get the mother and the father and a couple of kids, maybe even the dog. My record that I've seen is 5, but the old saying is, how many tyres can you fit on a motorbike? And the answer is 1 more. I actually like driving in Thailand. The road systems are very good and the quality of the roads are usually pretty good. And when you're driving long distances, most of the roads are dual carriageway and they're dual lane, sometimes 3-4 lanes wide in the town areas. Yes, I find the roads in Thailand very good. Okay, I'll thank you for watching. Hopefully you've enjoyed it a bit, and I'll say cheers.